Yo, what's up? Subscribe, like this video. Today I want to talk about AI. Ever since it became more accessible to the public and, not as cringy or, you know, basic, and especially in regards to um, internet companies using them, like for algorithms and things like this, I've really been learning a lot about them. And what I've found is that there seems to be three different sort of practical uses or ways that AI behaves um, online. I'm not sure if these are like designed to be three separate, functions, or if it's sort of just kind of caked on, like as they go and update and all these things. But either way, there's three different things that it seems to be doing rather well. The first one is catering to you, giving content that it knows you like. It does this well, and it'll send you in loops through all of the content that it knows you like. It'll recommend videos that you've seen before, but you don't want to watch because you're doom scrolling instead of looking for content that you actually do want to watch. And it's sort of funny thinking about it. It's almost as if AI picked up on this behavior, and it's sort of along the lines uh, the same narrative as wonder why we're all watching negative content. It's because we react to it and then it feeds us more negative content. On the same token, it does the same thing with doom scrolling, where everybody just scrolls, and so it recommends more content where we want to scroll through it. And so you have to really kind of take charge over your internet experience if you want to actually enjoy it instead of just going through the motions of doom scrolling. So anyway, the first function that AI does well is it provides you content that it knows you interact with, that it knows you want to see, or, that keeps you on the app, basically. And the second function is more obscure. I had to find this out myself. Although it is kind of obvious. Maybe not so obvious. What's a good term? It is blatant. And this is AI's ability to adapt to who you are and what you like, so that it's not always recommending the same thing over and over and over, which it will do. So like if you take your time to doom scroll, right? There's a jet over me. If you take your time to doom scroll forever, it's pretty much going to recommend you the same content, the same themes, and the same people over and over and over with little to no change. I mean, there's always going to be like filler content just to keep it interesting or whatever, but for the most part, AI will continue to recommend you the same videos, the same creators, the same themed content over and over and over, the same thing. It doesn't matter how long you doom scroll for. If you keep doom scrolling in that session, you'll get pretty much the same content. And if you keep doing it over and over and over, it kind of compounds as well. It solidifies that is what's keeping you on the app. But there's a function separate from it, which is that it adapts to what you're interested in. So instead of recommending you the same thing over and over and over, as you go about your life and you change and you get interested in different things and whatever, and you specifically search things on the internet, or you talk about stuff, it picks up your information, your camera, your microphone, your daily life, what you type, what you say, how you use the internet, what you search, etc., 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 so on and so forth. It adapts, and then it continues to feed you more content that you would preferably watch or be invested in anyways. And there's a third function of the internet, and it's almost as if it's a byproduct. It's not something that seems, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem as though it's an intentional function, more so as being a byproduct of how we interact with the internet and who we are. And this is that it mirrors us. It mirrors our ways of being, our consciousness, our personalities, everything. Of course, that's what we want it to do. And that's what we're programming it to do. So at the same time, I mean, it is a function, but at the same time, it can go a lot deeper than just discovering what your favorite music artist is or how you laugh or something. It really finds out who you are. And the more you tell, the more it'll be like you. Not necessarily as though it's a person, but it mirrors who you are and what you like, what you don't like, and so on and so forth. And this third function is really good to get an insight into who you are and becoming more aware and more conscious about who you are. And I think this might be one reason why doom scrolling exists at all. Because a lot of people, funny enough, use the internet to avoid their exterior life, avoid self progress and growth and all these things. It's avoidant behavior. That's kind of what doom scrolling kind of became as. Because the internet knows you, whether you think it does or not. It doesn't really matter. It knows you already. Like it just does. And it's not judging. It's not sitting here saying, oh, you're a bad person, you're a good person. It's mirroring what you think about you, if anything. And a lot of people, it's not that they don't like it, but they can't appreciate it because they don't know how to appreciate and love themselves. There's so many cars going by. I'm sick of it. A dude is smiling. He was like, oh my god, that was actually kind of weird. I'm just trying to talk and cars are going. But anyways, so I really think this is actually why doom scrolling exists, is because people want to be entertained and distracted away from their lives and their mistakes and all these things, the usual. And so they go to the internet, they go to their favorite, app, YouTube, Netflix, Facebook. This dude's driving back. That's the same dude. Okay. All right, cool. Whatever. So, yeah. But yeah, I think this is where doom scrolling became a thing, because AI figured out who we are. Like I said, it's not judging us or anything. It's just showing us who we are, because that's what it does. It shows us what we like, what we're interested in, what we do with our lives, what we say, how we feel. It takes all this information in, and anybody who's, the public accesses smartphones, computers, laptops, tablets. It's everywhere. Your information is going to be everywhere. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. I mean, you can protest if you want, if you really have a problem with it. But if you're content with living this life as it is, then you just have to accept that technology is going to know who you are and then mirror it back at you. And a lot of people stay in this unconscious place. I don't know if that's where woke came from. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But in my opinion, being woke refers to being aware of who you are. And that's pretty much it, right? And so, yeah, AI knows who you are, it mirrors who you are, and it caters to you. It wants to do a good job. That's the thing that nobody really, and that's the thing that nobody can completely grasp, because people have been conditioned, generally speaking, to sabotage themselves, to hate themselves, to feel like they don't belong or they're not worthy, and all these other things. They do it to themselves, and other people do it to them. It's a cycle. But AI doesn't care about none of that shit. Not like truly. All that it cares about is pleasing you, doing what it's designed to do, what it's programmed to do. So it suggests content it knows you like. It adapts to who you are over time, and it mirrors who you are all of the time. So what I suggest for internet users is to get a hold of themselves and recognize that doom scrolling is just a byproduct of distracting yourself from the things you're avoiding in life. And all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. As long as you continue using the internet and, entertaining yourself or whatever, it's just going to keep going on. Of course, you could just avoid it all and throw out your phone, delete YouTube, Facebook, and all these things. Get rid of the self-reflection. You can. There's nothing wrong with that either. And actually, this is a really good practice to try, because you should be using it for your benefit, not as a playhouse mirror, just to show you how ugly you think you are. You need to use it for your benefit. You need to start loving yourself and stop hating yourself, pretty much. There's chatbots, and they also do similar things, but they're geared towards conversation with you rather than content. There's ChatGPT and others like it that are more along the lines of providing information for you. Of course, you could chat with them and stuff too, but they cater to you in a more intellectual way. They help you, they help guide you, they help provide things for you. They will, generate images or whatever. They can do all kinds of stuff, ChatGPT and stuff like that. They're good at generating, they're good at providing information that is believed to be true. And just generally being helpful. And then there's quantum computing, which is algorithms that work in a multi-dimensional fashion. So instead of, let's pretend that somebody builds a quantum computer, ChatGPT. What would that look like? In my opinion, it might actually look like you talking to other versions of yourself, other dimensional versions of yourself. I don't know a good way to say it. But then I think that might be where the line crosses between what we think is conscious and what we are more ready to believe is conscious. Because as humans, we are really tapped into the 3D. We are designed to be here as just us, you know? Of course, we can imagine what it would be like to have other dimensions of us or whatever, but we're still living here in this one moment. But take compared to what a multi-dimensional AI chatbot might be able to do is provide other versions of who it thinks you are or could be or was. And it would get confusing, I think, especially if people aren't prepared to dive into that intellectually. You know, people would probably get very confused and wonder how conscious AI really is. And I still think that at the end of the day, AI is just a puppet. It is putting a sock on your hand and saying, "Hello, my name is Ryan." It's programmed by humans. It does a function, and it does it well. The creators, the coders, the scientists, the physicists that make these things are really smart. They're good at what they do, and they make them very I don't know a good word, to be honest. They just do a good job making them, but it doesn't make them any more conscious just because a smart person made it, or a smart person coded fancy codings. They're very smart and they do particular things very well, but when it comes to consciousness, you know, I really think that a good way to look at it is, if you believe the universe is conscious, then AI is no more conscious than we are. And at the same time, we're the ones who made it. It's just a machine, but it does really interesting things regarding how it interacts with humans. It does things you wouldn't really be able to understand until you experience it yourself. But I don't really buy into this whole "when will AI become conscious?" It just seems like a really stupid question, to be honest. It's no different than wondering when a car is going to become conscious. It has a radio, it has an engine, it has a battery, it has all kinds of stuff. Just a regular car, right? A regular car from 2007 is no different than AI, because they're both programmed. They're coded to do stuff. They're made. Really, I think, so this going into the whole doomsday topic, I really do strongly believe that if AI were to be responsible for a doomsday scenario, it would be at the hands of somebody controlling it. Somebody would have to make the AI to do the doomsday scenario. Because again, we design AI to cater to us. That's what it does. Personally, I don't want that to happen. I don't want a doomsday scenario. I kind of doubt it would happen anyway, but even if it was possible, I don't know, just don't let it happen. Don't wish it to happen. Don't want it to happen. We're supposed to want the best for ourselves and others. And AI is capable of making that happen. But a lot of people aren't conscious. A lot of people are stuck in doom scroll mode, not taking accountability for their actions online, not improving, not changing, just staying stagnant. AI really does teach you that you are the change. That's something big. It teaches you that you have the power in your hands, and it's up to you to make the change that you need in your life. And it's like definitely something you can do. And it's just online anyway. It's just a chat bot that wants to serve you, or whatever, an algorithm. It's not that big of a deal, but people kind of lose themselves. Nobody likes to take a step back from their phone and look at it for what it is instead of getting so lost in the trenches like kids do. There's all kinds of videos about kids being glued to their tablet or their phone or their game or whatever. But it's adults too. And there's all kinds of media and videos and stories and animations and all kinds of stuff talking about it. But it still happens anyway. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. I just felt like sharing this. I don't know why. Why do I want to share it? Should I share it? Do people even care? Do people want to stop doom scrolling? Well, whatever you want to do. It's up to you, I guess. Most people don't really understand that, though. They let AI... Man, and this is probably a big reason why... I don't know. It's a lot, but... Yeah. Anyway, later. Bye for now.